Right, welcome to Nissan Silvia Q's S13 from 1988. Now this is one of the few cars in Gran 7 that can receive two different engine swaps, and today we are going over the SR20 engine swap. So before we do that, well, we need to look at the vehicle standard. So when you actually drive the vehicle around, it is not fast. Let me just say that. The reason for that is the vehicle produces 132 brake horsepower standard. Now that is not a lot of power compared to modern day standards, but back in the day when the car just released, this was ample power. Now one thing I can say is the vehicle is rather lightweight, coming in at 1089 kgs. So 2400 pounds is gonna help the vehicle when it comes to cornering. But it just feels like it's going nowhere when you are going down the straightaway, because I mean, if we look coming out here to driving park straightaway, we are doing 268 kilometers per hour before we need to slam on the brakes to make it around the first corner. But that's the thing, with the car being as light as it is and not having that much power, you can really just hammer it through every corner and just push it to its limits, and you can actually get the vehicle to slide out. And that's because with the vehicle being front engine rear wheel drive, it's almost perfectly balanced and it offers a great handling experience. So May 1988, the 5th generation S13 hit the market. Now it swept the market away from the Honda Prelude, which was actually the lead at the time. Now the reason it swept the market, well, it captured fans because it was a fun vehicle to drive. It was a compact front engine rear wheel drive vehicle, and it offered everything that the young generation was looking for. Now with the Q's type, this was a naturally aspirated 1.8 liter CA18 that produced 138 brake horsepower. Now the front suspension utilized McPherson struts, and the rear had a multi-link suspension, and it just gave such a great starting point for people learning how to drift and for people that even just wanted to upgrade, because at one point most of the cars parked outside tuning shops in Japan were S13 Silvias, because the minute you slapped a turbo onto the standard CA18 engine, well, you could roughly push out 295 brake horsepower out. But hey, let's see how much power we can push out of it in Gran Turismo 7. So if you head on over to a tuning shop and start adding a lot of upgrades to really just fully forge the engine and get the max power out of it, well, we see that we are left with 320 brake horsepower, and with weight reduction added, we see that we now have 893 kg. So the vehicle is extremely lightweight, it produces a lot more power, so this should just equate to a lot more funner experience, if I can say that. Now if we head on over to GT Auto, we can now look at the visual customization options for this vehicle, and we see that we have two options for front bumper, which is front splitters, two options for side skirts, two options for a rear diffuser, and then lastly for your rear wing we see three options. Now once you actually just decide what style you want to have on your vehicle, well, you can take it back out onto circuit and experience a lot better of a driver's vehicle. Now coming down here to driving park straightaway, we notice that there is a massive difference between this and standard, because now coming down the straightaway we are doing 230 kilometers per hour before we slam on the brakes. Making it around the first corner, the vehicle is extremely planted, the vehicle has decent downforce, and you're able to really just push the vehicle and not really be afraid of ending up in a wall. That is unless you have the suspension set up a bit stiff, because then hitting curbs or clipping points will be not the smoothest ride for you, as I've learned that by almost going into a barrier. But hey, the vehicle is just still fun. It's easy to drive, easy to understand, and that's what I like about the vehicle. It's not extremely tricky, you don't really have to throttle controller around corners. You can still have your foot flat, go into a corner and know that you're gonna come out the other end in one piece. Now I don't think you can say that about the engine swap, but look, we need to set a base time. And around Kyoto Driving Park, with the vehicle having its engine fully upgraded, we now see it set lap times around the 1 minute 40 second mark, which is a big improvement over the standard time, which was a 2 minutes and 13 second lap. So a massive improvement between the standard engine upgraded and the stock, and well, the vehicle just being stock. So now with the vehicle and the engine swap, so for 134,000 credits you can purchase the SR20 out of the Nissan Silvia S13. Now once you purchase the engine, and you're gonna want to take it on over to tuning shop and just fully upgrade it, because now we see once you fully upgrade this engine, the vehicle will now produce 528 brake horsepower, but it will be a heavier vehicle. Now that's the thing, you gain some weight but you also gain some power. But when I tell you, this engine works extremely well in the Nissan Silvia S13 Qs, because the vehicle with the power now, it lights up the power, it really just slides about, and it's just such an exciting vehicle to drive. It's not going to be the fastest vehicle you've driven, it's not going to be the perfect race car. The way the Nissan Silvia feels now, the way it puts down its power, the way it gets your blood flowing, it's exciting. It's exciting to drive. You can just put it sideways, you can have the vehicle grip up. Once again, it doesn't lose ability for it to be an easy vehicle to drive. It's still, you can just jump in and take around a circuit, you can enjoy it. Does the rear end want to step out? Yes. Do you need to control it? Yes. Is the vehicle setting fast lap times? Yes, because we see the vehicle is setting lap times around the 1 minute 35 second mark, which is, as I always say, competitive. Am I gonna say this is the best vehicle, this is the best race car? Absolutely not. But it is a vehicle that you are gonna want to try out. The engine swap fits so perfectly with this vehicle. Now if we have to compare it to the other engine swap, which is the LS7 out of the Subaru BRZ drift car, that is every single gear the vehicle's gonna light up. It does over 400 kilometers per hour. It's the most extreme version, the most extreme power you can get out of this vehicle. But if you want something a bit more calm, laid back, a bit more realistic, in my opinion, this is the way to go. And you are not going to regret swapping it. But I will say, you may find a purpose for it. I see this as the ideal drift vehicle. So if you're a fan of drifting, this is the perfect swap for you. If you want to just have a fun, low power, I say low power as if it doesn't have almost 600 horsepower build, this is a great alternative. I had so much fun with it, and I will be jumping into this vehicle again. But hey, let me know your thoughts on this engine swap in the comment section down below. And with this being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.